Hey everybody, welcome to the Ham Radio Crash Course. Did you think you'd hear from me again so soon? Well, I got a breakthrough. I had a fun little project I was working on. I got a Christmas gift. I got a Raspberry Pi. Actually, I got two Raspberry Pis. And I was so excited to get to working on them that I had kind of a breakthrough. So I figured, what the hey, let's turn the cameras on and let's talk about it. So this is going to be a simple little stream, nothing too big or out of the control, and I didn't even warn anybody, so this is just going live and we'll see who shows up. No big deal. Anyway, a Raspberry Pi is a simple, small chip-based computer that runs off an SD card, a micro SD card. Won't go into the details on that. I'm not going to pretend like I'm a Raspberry Pi master or anything like that, because I'm not really. But I do know how to get around Linux and some of those other distros and stuff like that. So it just seemed like, hey, what the heck? Let's give it a shot. So basically, what happened was I got this. This was the Raspberry Pi that was given to me. It's a Pi 3B Plus, which is, I think, the most powerful one that exists today. And I learned that the SDRPlay folks released a Raspberry Pi image, this Pi 3 image v.0.4. And it includes a SDR software and some, what else does it include? I guess I'll show you when I switch over to the Raspberry. But basically, it's a full image. You just flash it to your SD card and you plug it into your Raspberry Pi. You start it up and you're basically off and running. So for me, I was like, you know what would be really fun is if I can leave over in the side of the office and I don't have to ever worry about it, and it just picks up SSTV images, because I just like being like, hey, Raspberry Pi images or SSTV images are coming into me. Let's look at those. And I was very surprised. I spent some time, actually, Zach's in the chat right now. Zach helped me out a lot last night getting this going. And I figured, what the heck, let's just see if we can run SSTV with it. And I'm doing it a little brute forcey. I'm sure there's a way you can do it that will lower the performance crunch that I'm currently slamming the Raspberry Pi with. But it is working, and I was able to, in only the last couple hours before the sun went down, able to pull down some pretty cool images. So I figured I'd just show you what I was up to. All right. So real quick, this is my Raspberry Pi B, and it is into an SDRPlay RSP1, and it's just connected via USB. This is connected to a broadband dipole that it's basically my radio waves hex beam, but this is the rotatable dipole portion of it. And I have it connected to power, okay? So after I got some help... Oh boy. We'll see how YouTube handles this one. We may not be able to leave this one up. How am I? Back to you? Is my video synced? Let me know. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Rip in peace, indeed. We're back. Okay, so is my refresh? Is my voice, my words in sync with the audio? Am I synced up? Because apparently YouTube screwed that up really bad. Synced up? Am I synced up? Okay, good. I didn't touch it, I promise. Okay, good. All synced up. Don't know what happened there. It seems like the first couple of minutes of the last couple of streams have gotten bad, and I had to like restart the streaming software. So anyway, let me go back to my desk here. What just happened? Oh, why? Okay, well that's interesting. I couldn't get this thing to work with me, and now it's like zoomed in all max status. Well, that's weird. I don't even know what's happening with this thing. This camera's been giving me all kinds of trouble, so sorry about that. Weird. Yeah, hackers, man. Is that better? Okay, well, anyway, we'll just make it fit. So, anyway, SDRPlay into a Raspberry Pi 3B Plus. Picked that up off of Amazon. This is really washed out. I don't know what happened. I'm going to have to change some stuff here. Anyway, doesn't matter. We're not going to be looking at the Raspberry Pi because that's it. Once you flash the image and you go ahead and download it off of the Raspberry Pi website, use a flashing software, and the one that I use is, where is it? Balena or Balena Etcher. This was mentioned to me by Zach. So all you got to do is select the image and then select your drive and hit flash. Takes about 13 minutes. The image is about 8 gigs. So this will work off a 16 gig. I'm using a 64. The reason for the 64 is I want to save all the images. I don't want to necessarily have to look at this thing for a while. I just want to have to set it up and let it play. So basically, I got it working as a headless unit. You can connect HDMI into this. You can connect a keyboard and a mouse, and you can go directly on it, and it'll work perfectly, and that's fine. I didn't want that, though. I wanted to be able to SSH into it to copy images off, and I wanted to be able to remote desktop in so that I could view the images on the desktop and not have to do anything or anything like that. So pretty simple. Where is my... There it is. So this is my Raspberry Pi desktop. Let's get it in frame there. Good, good, good. It's a little cut off on the side, but you get the idea. And what I did initially was had to turn the VNC server on. That's through the RAS config, which I'll show you that very briefly. So basically, you just need to get it running, right? So connect it, put the card in it, get it started up, activate SSH if you haven't, which I won't go into the tutorials for that. That's pretty straightforward, though. There's plenty of stuff you can view online. And then once you get it going, open up a terminal. This could be SSH through your terminal if you can remote into it, or through the system itself. You can turn on the VNC, which is sudo raspi config. Okay, and you want to go to interface options, and you want to make sure the VNC is turned on. I'm not going to do it because it's working, so we're going to leave it at that. Okay, so once you have the VNC set up and all that, top left, I see it's fine. I want to make sure the chat's okay. The on-screen one. Huh. Chat's not working. Boop, 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 boop. No working? Oh, okay. Sounds like it's fine now. Hey, I'm glad this is not one of those planned streams like our Friday streams. This is just a fooling around, having fun stream. So, I'm running the SDRPlay image. It's loaded. It's running. When you start it up, let me just show you what it looks like when you start it up for the first time. You're going to see this. Where is it? Easy Play. So this is something that the SDRPlay people put together. It's a nice little menu that gives you access to Soapy SDR util, Soapy remote, Cubic SDR. Cubic SDR would be what you would use if you just wanted to receive on this thing. And you weren't... Is this still... Okay, we're still there. If you just wanted to receive on this thing and not do any decoding or anything like that, you'd want to use something like Cubic SDR. Cubic is a pretty heavy load on the Raspberry Pi, so keep that in mind when you actually run this. And this one is just free balling right now, and it's hot. So I've got a case coming in that will hopefully put a fan on it, and that will help the performance issues as well, because the Raspberry Pis, when they heat up, they throttle and you lose some of the performance. So we open to questions. Yes, Dean, we are open, but in a little bit. So GNU Radio, I've not messed with that yet, but what I'm using is GQRX, GQ Receive, which is the same app that I used when I did my RTL SDR dongle video. So that's basically all I used in this, and I had to download something called QSSTV. So let me just get out of here right now. Cancel. Cancel. Close. Okay, fine. Just minimize. Get out of my way. So GQRX is what I'm using, and I've got this thing set to... Oh, am I losing my frequency settings? Looks like I lost something. Oh, anyway, doesn't really matter. All we need this for is to output to the video card, or I'm sorry, the sound card, And we want to be on 14.230 for 20 meters is just the one I'm using right now. GQRX does 1.78 load on previous iPis. Yeah. It's a Pi 3, right? Pi 3B. That's what I have. This is a Pi 3, right? Yes, it's a B+. So with yeah, wicked perfect. Last stream of the year. So with GQRX running on 20 meters, obviously it's a little dark for 20 meters. So we're receiving. This is the sound of receiving. Okay, just background noise. I'll show you this really quick too. Although this camera's all screwed up. I'm just using a simple... Why is this thing so bad? What happened to you, camera? Just using a simple camera. This guy. Camera. Speaker into the jack, the output jack, speaker jack of the Raspberry Pi. You don't need it, though, because it's SSTV. Once you have it set up, proof of concept's over, and you can just use it, So we've got the receiver going. We know that we're receiving audio. And so the next step was download QSSTV, and that's sudo apt-get QSSTV. That view. Interesting. Oh, I know what happened to this guy. It's just sized huge. That's funny. It just got sized. Look at this. What happened to you? Why are you so big? That was weird. Why did it jump to such monstrous proportions? People are saying this chat's messed up. I don't know why. I can't tell you. I don't know what that's about. Oh, also, I'm going to end up rigging this up as an antenna, too. This little Ballon deal that I got. Because I don't want to devote my dipole to it any longer. So, anyway. Dean Johnson's, do you use any hats on your Pi? Aside from my Pi Star, no, not yet. So anyway, I'm using QSSTV, downloaded it, and basically just went into, where we go, options, come on. Take your time with this, because it loads it up. It's at 96% load right now, and I think a part of that might be throttling with the heat. Yeah, you generally do need a box. So right now, we've got Pulse Audio loaded. You'll need to load Pulse Audio to make this work if you don't already have it. SDRPlay's image already has Pulse Audio loaded, so that's very straightforward. You don't have to do really, I didn't have to do anything to make this work. The only thing I had to do was download QSSTV and make sure I was using the proper input, which was the playback recording through Pulse Audio Sound Server, because we're not receiving in with a USB or an audio jack like you would with a traditional radio. We are using the USB connection through the SDR. So if you have it set up right, you will see this waterfall on the right-hand side. Well, not the waterfall's below it, but you'll see the spectral. And that's basically it. So once I got that going and set up, it started receiving. So this has got a cool little program that the QSSTV works like a lot of other SSTV programs. And when it starts receiving a signal, it will try and figure out what type of SSTV signal it is using the header information on what most people transmit. So that was the last one I got, which is actually, I received this about an hour ago, which was already dark by that point. So pretty good. That's pretty dirty, but pretty good for end of the night. So anyway, in the couple hours I had it going, I got all these in. And right before I started getting ready for the stream, this guy came in. This CQ DX SSTV KR6E. DM03 is like, I believe 1 grid away from me. So, pretty good. Oh, what just happened? I didn't get a notice for that. Oh, thank you, Dean Johnson. Meant to send this with that question. No, just the Pi Star right now. Now I do have a pretty big project coming up with Raspberry Pi, because I do have two. The first one was to do this, which I did. So this is the proof of concept, and then the next thing I'm doing is going to be a lot more fun. I'm very excited about that. Yeah, and so basically, it's working just fine, very simply, and I think the trick is, well, now it's not maybe working that well at all. Come on, buddy. There we go. That is a water buffalo. And that person is using SSTV, which is a Windows app, and it works very well. That's AL40. Some dude just sent out a picture of Homer. Come on. Yeah, man. There we go. Which I thought was pretty cool. Juan Carlos. I have not talked about Peanut because I haven't got it running. Okay. This one's good. KB0UA or UOA. I thought that was pretty cool. Little space there. I think that's actually the ISS images, but we're not on the ISS frequency. We're obviously on 20 meters, so. KM6 DSM Sacramento, in your expert opinion, what is the best radio for... Who are we talking to? Oh, is that a comma, Tom? The best radio for $50. I don't know, because $60 gets you a UV5R. I'm sorry, a BFF 8HP, which I think is the better Baofeng. Yeah. For $50 you don't get a lot, to be honest with you. Not to say you can't get something to work, but come on now. That's a cool one. That's the same type of bomber that the Enola Gay is. I can't remember the name of it. I'm sure somebody in the chat will. I don't think that was the Enola Gay, though. The other one was Enola Gay had a woman on the side of it, and the plane that dropped the bomb on Nagasaki was the brick car or box car. B-29, there you go. Thank you, Truth. Yeah, the box car was the second one, and that was the Nagasaki plane. That's actually at, yeah, everybody knows it. That's actually at Wright Pat. So if you go to Hamvention, you can see it at the Wright Pat Museum. So anyway, in about a couple of hours of just having this thing on and receiving, I picked up 2 pages worth of SSTV images, some obviously better than other, but it works flawlessly. The second boxcar dropped little boy. I thought Enola Gay dropped little boy. I thought boxcar dropped fat man. Am I wrong? Tell me I'm not wrong. This is one of the Duck Dynasty guys. So question in the chat, 00.22J, what frequency is SSTV on? Go look it up on Google. It depends on what band you're on. Yeah, it depends on what band you're on that you would switch to. Ebola Gay. I think you mean Enola Gay. Robert made it. So this is wow. Enola Gay dropped Fat Man. I thought the first one was, well, now you got me, because Fat Man was the second bomb. And you are right about who dropped what bomb. Yeah, Boxcar, the reason the Enola Gay is at the Smithsonian is it dropped the first atomic bomb. Boxcar dropped the second bomb, which was Fat Man and Nagasaki. That is my understanding. That is how I understand the whole thing went. But anyway, this is Ham Radio Chat. Let's talk more about atomic weapons. So KB0UOA, again, I think that was the same guy. Really good, because I think he's literally down the street from me. He's a pretty active SSTVer from what I remember. Oh, this is a good one. This is a Super Cub. Come on. Down there in the bottom, that's a Super Cubby. Or the Air Dream Lifter. It might be the Dream Lifter. Anyway. So anyway, let's go back. So yeah, what you do, and this is my settings, just so you guys can follow along if you want to try this. I used Viz on, auto slant on, and auto save on because I want to save the images. And then I set the default to PNG. That's just the image format I want. And save if complete 25% or more. So good enough. I'd rather get something rather than nothing. Now, your mileage will vary completely on how you want to go about this, on how easy it is to set up. It was easy for me to set up because this is just the SDRPlay software, the image entirely, and QSSTV is what I downloaded. If you want to run it like me, I ended up having to work with Loyal, or Zach, mainly because I don't have hardware to run this on a separate monitor. I don't have an extra monitor lying around. So I wanted to run it completely headless. And the SDRPlay image that they have out has all the keys stripped out of it for SSH. So you technically have to log into it for the first time, reload the keys, and then set up SSH. And then that'll allow you to get in and do the raspy config, and then set the VNC on. I am on a Mac, which means running VNC is very, very easy. There's an embedded software that comes with the Mac. You just run that. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, Zach's got a link. Amazon product. Oh, let's see what he's got. Let's take a look at that. Oh, yeah. Oh, I didn't realize that you could use that instead of... Oh, I thought it's for power. Wait, I'm confused. You can use that instead of having a monitor? Or just for SSH? I'll have to... Let's turn you off. So you're saying you use that USB to connect SSH? I get that. He says you can plug it into the GPIO pins and terminal into the Pi. Oh, I gotcha. Okay, so you're gonna connect to it via the USB. Gotcha. Oh, that's probably a good way to do it too. The advantage of being able to do that or run on the Pi physically itself via the HDMI is I have a feeling that some of the performance hit, because again, this thing's running at 95%, some of the performance hit is the fact that it's running a VNC in the background as well. I'm sure if I turn the VNC off, we'd get some performance back. So that might help. But it is working, so I can't really complain. Yeah, so it's terminal over wire. Very good. That'd be sweet. Yeah. So the point of the whole thing is it's very simple. Once you get the image downloaded off the SDRPlay website, flash it, and then connect it to the Raspberry Pi via the SD card, it boots right up. So if you have a HDMI cable and a keyboard and a mouse, you can easily set up the VNC, you can set up SSH, you can set up whatever you want, and then you can run it headless, and then you can just VNC into it, remote desktop into it, and then that's all you have to do, and that's it. That's all there is to it. Very straightforward. I was very impressed by the whole thing, to be honest with you. It's working out pretty good. So I do have the phone lines going. If anybody wants to call in, that's fine. But no big deal. This is just a fun one because I had some breakthroughs and it seemed to be working wonderfully. And so I was like, man, well, let's just talk about it because I'm super jazzed. And it kind of leads into the next project that we'll be doing. Yeah. Otherwise, it's kind of like, well, what else are you gonna do out here? Let's see. We are on the broadbander, so why don't we... Let's do a check here. See if there's any big stations out there we can tune into. It looks like somebody's on 40. I'm cheating. I'm using the waterfall on the 7300. Those are people speaking Spanish to each other. Key Sermon. He said if you have a DMR repeater in your area, save $20 more and get either the DMR Baofeng or the GD77. I would not get the the DMR Baofeng. Get the GD77. Don't get the DMR Baofeng. Hey, what's up, Dennis? How's it going? Not a lot of signal. Ooh, that's a big old signal. Well, that guy's underwater. Okay, never mind on that. I wanted to find a good signal that we can test a, Is he just overblowing L at lower... This guy is... Wow, that guy. Let's see if I can tune to him. 7149 has a huge signal. Oh, I just lost my mouse. The DMR Baofeng has problems. It at least when we reviewed it, multiple people have reviewed it. It has hardware problems. Not what I would recommend for a DMR radio. Also, you can't load the call sign to DMR ID file, so it won't display who you're talking to. It'll just display the DMR ID. Okay, what are we? 7. Let's see. 7. Nope, that's the wrong one. 07149. So that's this powerful station on the SDRPlay coming through the Raspberry Pi. Dean Johnson, it has a squelch problem, a squelch trail. No. Let me put it this way. If it's DMR and a Baofeng, don't get it. Just save your money and get the GD77. That's all I'll say about that. It's been discussed a lot. And we talked about it. I did a programming video for it. It'll work okay, and then it'll break on you. And that's been the general consensus, that it has problems with the physical hardware. So that guy's coming in great. He's on a helicopter, as you said. So that's pretty much all there is to it. I wanted to do a quick little walkthrough here. Again, when you start it up for the first time, you're going to get minimize. There we go. You're going to get this easy play menu that will walk you through some of the things you can do. There's a user guide. They have a test software for the RSP when you connect it to it. I suggest you have the RSP connected before you start it up. I don't use SOPI Remote. Cubic SDR is okay. Haven't used GNU Radio, but that has a lot of capabilities, I understand. ADSB is the same software I used for displaying the information of local flights. So it will pick up the transponders, the beacons on the aircraft, and it can map them locally on the screen for you, so you can check it out that way. That was very cool. And you have some other stuff in there too, but mainly GQRX is the main one you want to use with the QSSTV because it's much less of a processor hog. And I'm going to set this guy back to 2300. 14230, I mean, so that we'll be able to pick up some SSTV in the morning because I'm not always up in the morning when the SSTV's a-flowing, and I want to make sure I get all my cool images there. So yeah, again, here's my gallery of pictures. This one's probably the best one. This is the one I used on the thumbnail for the video. CQDX SSTV for KR6E DM04. Literally, he's one grid over. All right. Jeepin' Survival, are there any online ham crams? I can't seem to find anyone. You could just watch all my videos in one day. That's pretty much a cram. Yeah, you can pick up a nice 7-inch touchscreen for the Pi for like 100. Only $100? Yeah, I know, but I don't want to do that. Hey, Dean Johnson asks, "Oh, thank you for the super chat there. Why did my light go off?" There it is. He's asked, "Are you excited for the IC 9700?" In a word, no. Because I don't have $2,000 to throw at that thing. I have my 7300, which I love, and I like operating VHF, UHF, and the most satellite action I get these days is with my handheld Arrow antenna on the FM birds.
Invalid option.
Oh, did somebody join the call? What was that? That's weird. I wouldn't mind one, but at $2,000, I'm probably not a buyer for a while. I may try to find one used, but that's after I get my space set up in the garage that I've been trying to plan on. Yeah, I don't know of any other really good radios that can do what the 9700 plan is stated as doing. It's full duplex, and it operates on higher frequencies than other competitive radios. So it's really a satellite operator / EME operator's kind of dream box. At least I would think so. If you were big into operating on not just the easy FM birds, but the linear sats, you'd probably really want a 9700. That seems to be who it's really made for. Yeah. I think. That's my opinion. But yeah. So this is just a surprise chat. The kids and family are all at a lantern celebration, which it's like a parade, but with lanterns or something like that. So I was like, how long are you going to be gone for? We're going to be gone for a couple hours. I'm like, okay, I'm doing a stream. I all of a sudden sound like that LGR channel right now. Cool. Well, any questions regarding the Raspberry Pi, you can put them in the comments, or if you can type them out really quick, we can hit them up live, or just call in, but no big deal. Like I said, this isn't a planned stream. This Friday, though, we are having our stream this Friday, so make sure that you remember to check that out, put a reminder in, maybe click the bell. And hey, Carrie. Yes, this is a Raspberry Pi, and we are running some SSTV through it using a SDRPlay SDR equipment. Now, you can do this with an RTL SDR. There are numerous guides on how to do that. The RTL SDR, because it's so cheap, it seems there's more guides out there for playing around with it. But the SDRPlay is a better, much better SDR, from my opinion. Roberto Ellison is in all caps saying, "That is a Chinese-Korean event." Yes, my wife is Chinese. So the stream on Friday will be 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And it's on... What do you do if you have shack RFI or shack interference? That's going to be a fun one. In fact, I just had to use these skills earlier this week. Yep. Yeah, Zach has that exact. So now, I think, now if I were to go out on a limb here, you may have to use an up converter, but I think that the RTL SDR is probably the easier setup. I don't know that you're going to get the better receive, though. I think the SDRPlay is going to be a much better receiver. But the RTL SDR can be operated from the terminal. So you can open up a terminal window and you can start the RTL SDR on a specific frequency and set what mode you want to be operating on and whatnot. And that's handy because then you can just say, start it up, upper sideband. Oh, that reminds me. I gotta set this back to upper sideband. Yep, we were in lower sideband. I ain't getting no pictures like that. Upper sideband. You can set that up exactly how you want it, and then it'll take over for you. Whoop. Why do you do that? You can see how lagged out it is. Let's go full screen. There we go. Robert Snyder, Happy New Year. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Appreciate that a lot. W9CFW is checking into net. All right, got you down. Yeah, that's right. New Year's. I'm not going anywhere, I don't think. I think we're just going to stay homebound, which is always good on New Year's. Best to be home. Maybe we'll play a little ham radio and see. Catch you guys on Discord or something like that. We'll do. Oh no, well, I'm gonna go ahead. The Santiago Peak repeater has a event, I believe, tomorrow night, and it's an interesting event. So, if you can get a hold of that repeater via somehow, this should be interesting. Yeah, you're right. Key Ceramon says, I found the RTL SDR to be pretty deaf, no up converter on the HF bands compared to the SDRPlay. You are correct. You would be totally correct. So, yeah. So, hopefully, like I said, this is a very easy build, if you will. It's a very easy kit, and it's very fun. And you just can, like I said, I'm going to put it on the shelf behind me, and it's going to live there, and that's it. And it's going to collect me sweet, sweet, sweet SSTV pictures. I will mention, let me throw a plug out for this guy. There you are. Let me go back to the desktop before I'm going to hang up. When we hang up here, I'm going to start toying around with this guy. So I got this off Amazon too. This is a SMA Balun, and these are two pressure connectors. You put a wire feed in it, and basically it's for making a dipole. I'm a little concerned though. It's a little dubious because it says, where's my zoom in? Let me see if I can get this to zoom in. Come on, buddy. Oh, it's manual zoom right now. It says antenna Balun 1:9 instead of 9:1, and antenna Balun. So that should be fun. Like I said, I like fooling around with this kind of stuff. So we'll see if it works, and then I'll report back. There's the sweet spot right there. So yeah, antenna Balun 1:9, which a proper Balun is usually just a 1:1 for a dipole. You don't need anything else. So yeah, this takes a simple SMA, which I will connect to, then connect it to the SDRPlay here, and then I can get my other antenna back, and I won't have to worry about figuring that out, which is exactly what you want. And further, if you were out and about and you were like on a trip and you wanted to take your computer with you, or you had a computer and you had your SDRPlay, you could just have this wound up in a bundle of wires. You scanned my, so let's see. So it should be, yep, it's right there. There it is, the first one, Ham Radio Crash Course. So if you click on Ham Radio Crash Course, it's going to be the first item. Right there. That's the kit I got. You can buy it cheaper, just bare bones, but this one comes with 2 heat sinks and this clicky power switch that I really like and the power adapter. So that's why I was like, yeah, that's a fine deal. Yeah, if you already have all this stuff, then don't worry about it. Just get a bare bones one. Go with a bare bones, and that's all you need. The Ballon comes with Ham It Up kit. I believe I was hesitant first, but it does work. Yes, I'm told that does work. Ethan has... The Pi itself is 35 to 38 from Amazon or 30 to 35 from Adafruit. Yes. And again, these are all the same product. It's just the pack-ins. So if you need the pack-ins, get the ones that suit you. If you go to, let's see, let's talk about that real quick before I wrap it up, because I technically have an hour. So yeah, you can spend $55 and you get a case. Although, for me, this is just maybe my dumb thinking. These things get hot, and to put it into a case that doesn't have active cooling seems like a bad idea. Yeah, see, all these ones have a case, but there's no cooling on them. So I don't know. I don't know that I would go that route. Yeah, this one's $70. That's, you don't need that. Although it has a nah. So, those SD cards are so cheap. A 16 gig card is nothing. So I have only had the 3B Plus get hot. Oh, there you go. Zach knows more about it than I do. But this 3B is hot. Let me tell you. So yeah, there's a 3B, a Pi 3B Plus 3850 on Amazon. Yeah, so you can see there's just a ton of people that all have kits that want to sell you $1. This one comes with a keyboard and a screen and a case with the screen on it. That's $180. That may be a bridge too far, but whatever you need, they basically have it available. So, oh, is the chat dead again? There you go. Don't know why that one. Let me fix this really quick. I don't like not having a chat working because sometimes I look at it, see if it fixes itself. Boop. There we go. That should be better. Pi fans are $8 a pair with hardware. Yeah, you can get them cheap. Colorado Ham, I bet they're noisy little buggers. Probably not variable either. Yeah, they're probably not. And again, he's gonna go live on a shelf back behind me that I probably won't ever have to deal with. So we'll try it out. I've got a fan coming. Actually, it's a case with a fan, and I wanted it to be an enclosed, more tightly enclosed, so that you get better active cooling. Now, I can't comment on how much throttling is going on, but I'm assuming there is throttling. Because, like I said, this guy's running. So with GQRX running in the background, minimized, and the QSSTV running in the foreground, it's at 88%, which is really high. 00.22J, so you have a separate antenna. Yes. Yeah, you'll want to have a separate antenna, ideally. Otherwise, you'd have to have a... So part of the problem is if you're going to be running a SDR, particularly around your other radios, you want to try and keep the antennas separated from each other, particularly if you're putting out any kind of power on your transmitter, because you don't want to fry your SDR. So just keep that in mind. Oop. Trying to catch up on the chat here. It looks like there was some questions that came in. Yeah. Well, we're about 45 minutes in, and that's really all you can make a video out of this. Oh, Kev is up late, 3:45 in the morning in the UK. That's really all you can make a video on. This is really a more of a do-it-yourself kind of... You should go out and do this because it's cheap. The most expensive thing is the SDRPlay, but you don't need an SDRPlay to do this. You can do this with an RTL SDR. So you're easily under $100 to make this all happen. If you get a 16 gig card, or if you already have a card, use that. The most problematic thing might be the antenna. But you can do this with a, long wire antenna, because you can treat it just like a shortwave radio. I'm going to try and build this balun, and then I'll get back to you guys on if it's any good or not. But there is a winding in there, so that's pretty funny. There is a winding, so we shall see. Huh, that's pretty cute. It's tiny. Yeah, Kev, late night. Okay. All right, well, we'll leave it at that. Just so I know we're not... Okay, good. I don't want to hang up on anybody like we did the last time. Hung up on 4 people. I'm ready to... Oop, there we go. All right. I'll probably head over to Discord to chat for a little while as I'm building up this antenna, because I'm going to have to measure out and cut some wire, and then I think I'm going to staple it. I'm just going to go with a staple gun into the roof line of my room and see how we do. Yeah. Aaron says, one of my Pis, I have a 12-volt 40-minute fan connected to the 5-volt, and it works pretty well. Very quiet. Yeah, I'm sure you can modify it to make it work. Cool. All right, well, we'll leave it at that. Appreciate everybody hopping on. Had about 100 people at the max point, so that's pretty good for not telling anybody and just surprising everybody. I hope everybody has a great New Year's. Stay safe. Stay at home if you can. That's probably the best way. Just go out tomorrow morning, get whatever supplies you need for the evening, and just stay home. Just stay home. Don't party. Play ham radio. All right, dude. All right, everybody. Thanks so much, and I'll talk to you later.